Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is I, No Chill MMA, and I'm here to bring you another 15 prospects from another 15 countries in this world of mixed martial arts. I realize this puts us at 30. We have about 180 countries left. There's like 200 something countries in the world. We still have a long way to go. Tonight we're going to be going over Belarus, Belgium, Belize, Benin, Bhutan, Bolivia, Botswana, Brazil, Brunei, Bulgaria, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cape Verde, and Cambodia. We also are going to have our first special guest be joining us tonight, so I hope you guys enjoy part 2. Unfortunately, these 20-minute videos take 6 hours to make. I watch every single fight, upwards of 6 hours. I watch every single fight the fighters had. I take notes. I'm trying to be as in-depth as possible. I really am interested in how this world of MMA is going to shape out. I think this is a great exercise, either watching this video or for me making this video, to have a gauge on what countries are really prominent with mixed martial arts and which countries aren't yet. Well, without further ado, let's get into our first country. Now, to represent Belarus is the 13-1 Denis Maher. He is a massive welterweight boasting a 6'3" frame, and I actually really like the way that he utilizes his length. Short knees on the inside, razor fast straights down the middle, and he keeps at range and beats his opponents up very, very well, utilizing what God gave him. Now, I really like his striking. I like the way that he controls distance, and I like the way that he's pressure in, pressure out. Now, surprisingly, as most ACA fighters do have a wrestling base, he started off with a little bit more grappling, but he's really changing up his style as a fighter, and in his last 3 fights, he has looked so impressive. Now, I don't even really fault him for the one loss that he has. He was trying to grapple with a superior grappler. He got caught in a knee bar. However, with the new style of striking and the big, ferocious power that he has in these straights, hammer fists, I think Denis Maher could go pretty far. He's 30 years old, so we'll have to see if he stays in ACA or goes somewhere else. Belarus, your guy is pretty damn good. Now, for Belgium, this guy is so amazing as a fighter, it's hard to even call him a prospect, but he is just 26 years old, the 15-1, currently set to clash for the Octagon Lightweight Grand Prix Final, Losene Keita. Now, where to start with Losene Keita has to be the very fast-paced and violent crosses and hooks that he is constantly throwing as a barrage. And what makes him really good is that although he likes to get up close and throw these short-range boxing combinations, he doesn't get hit very often, and he backs up his game with a ton of power. His poor opponent here gets hit in the body so hard, he turns into a pinball and flies across the cage. It is absolute brutality from Losene Keita every single time he steps in the octagon. Now, his striking style is very reminiscent of Ilia Topuria, and he is absolutely killing it in Octagon, which is the promotion that he's currently fighting in. Madness, mad power by Losene Keita. In Octagon, he was there towards the beginning. Former lightweight champion, went down to featherweight. This is his best win. Sorry for the poor video quality. That's Ivan Buchinger. This guy is really good. His opponent's very high level. It's those crazy fast-paced hooks that send Ivan on the ropes, ultimately gets him the finish. He has very few flaws on the feet because he's a sniper with a lot of power and crazy quickness. This is where he struggles a little bit. I noticed after watching all his fights again, he does have a little bit of an issue not getting taken down. It's a little bit of a problem because there have been times where rounds will end and Losene Keita will just be trapped on bottom position, getting jabbed away from top control by his opponent. And he's not able to scramble out of this, but he has been improving. As you can see, reverses a takedown attempt into a face crank with some body triangles too, kind of like a proxy fox rear naked choke. The story with Losene Keita is this. He really is undefeated. His only loss was because of an injury that he sustained in the fight. He really is 15-0. That's the truth. He got hurt in a fight and he had to vacate his title. He had to lose his title. But he's going to be rematching the person that he first debuted against that's also on a super large win streak in a tournament final, I believe for $1 million and the Octagon Championship. Guys, please check this out. Obviously, if you want to see more of Losene Keita fight, December 29th, he's going to be fighting in that rematch, putting Belgium on the map. For Belize, we have Frank Vasquez, a 2-1 featherweight. Now, this is the thing with Frank Vasquez. I couldn't find any pro footage, so I can't tell you how great of a fighter he is. I can't say what he's good at, what he's not. However, he is 34 years old, just 2-1 as a pro. So I'm not expecting him to make the UFC. I would assume MMA is more of like a hobby thing, but he is the only prospect right now from Belize. He just got his O taken via guillotine, but he did finish both of his 2 pro wins, so that's definitely a plus. I found an amateur fight, but it was like a fluke fight where it says that he tapped, but he didn't tap. It was crazy. Didn't feel like putting it in. Now, for the country of Benin, we have the undefeated, electric 7-0 fighter, Jean Dos Santos. Now, I really love Jean Dos Santos' fighting style. Absolute balls to the walls, throw everything, see what sticks type of chaos. I am telling you right now, there is not a defensive strategy in that man's body. He will just eat a shot and be like, ow, that hurt, and then he'll stumble, and then he'll just keep going. He throws, and he comes forward like a zombie. But when you can make fights as chaotic and possess such a physicality like Jean Santos, then it's gonna work for you. It's gonna work for you. This guy is out here representing his country like no one else has before. I don't even think there's been a Benin UFC fighter. This guy is kind of the first of his kind, and he's doing a crazy good job. However, he probably does need to tighten up the defense if he's going to continue to be undefeated. Because he's undefeated, albeit against opponents that are, you can see his little powerbomb attempt, very nice, non-stop action. But he is undefeated against opponents who are a little less than average. Not the greatest resume for 7-0, but still, such an entertaining, fun fighter. He throws everything with vicious intent, even though he might not be the most technical fighter in the world. Benin's first real prospect is on the come up right now. He did get hurt in his last fight, or maybe in his last training camp. I'm looking forward to a comeback for Jean Dos Santos. Now, unfortunately for Bhutan, there is no MMA scene yet. Bhutan is a border country of Nepal and China, relatively small, no MMA scene being cultivated right now. Looking forward to maybe one in the future, who knows? So that leaves us to go to Bolivia. Now to represent Bolivia, at just 23 years old with a record of 9-1 already, is the bantamweight Carlos Wonderboy Tardio. Now the nickname Wonderboy really had me intrigued because I was watching this man's fights, and he seemed like a submission offense grappler. And he is, as you can see him sink in this guillotine choke very, very effectively, gets the tap. So, the Wonderboy inspiration actually comes from him competing and winning these contact karate tournaments. This guy's striking is going to be pretty damn nice. We just haven't got to see it on display quite yet because he's been getting his opponents out so early with the grappling. As you can see here, his opponent took his back. He transitions that into a single leg up against the cage. He sinks down really low with the single leg and transitions the single leg to a double leg. Then a Matt Hughes style slam takedown on Mr. Gomez here was very effective for him. Gomez scrambled back up to the feet. He got hip control. I've never seen Stephen Wonderboy Thompson do that. Absolutely manhandled, takes the back, right? And his opponent gets up again. But because he hooks the body with his legs while he's standing, this was similar to Oliveira versus Chandler. He sinks in the rear naked choke standing up and his opponent has to tap. I am very, very interested in this fighter because very rarely do we see BJJ / karate styles in MMA. It's usually, BJJ boxing, BJJ wrestling, boxing. Rarely do we see karate and BJJ. but he's been doing both of them very, very effectively. I think that Carlos Tardio has one of the most interesting styles in MMA right now. I'm very much looking forward to see if this BJJ karate style is effective. Very odd fundamentals, but combining them has worked out almost perfectly. 9-1 at just 23 years old. Now for Bosnia, I had a lot of debate if I was going to pick this guy, but I decided to. A massive, powerful, stand-up fighting light heavyweight Erko Jun, 9-2 and the current Brave light heavyweight champion. Now, it's very hard to gauge how good Erko Jun's kickboxing actually is, because he's been finished multiple times on the feet. I think he's a very good fighter, but he focuses so much on trying to get his opponent out of there, he forgets to cover up, he forgets to have defensive movements, and he's fighting big guys with a lot of power that could catch him. His 2 losses are both KO losses. Every single fight that he has plays out on the feet exclusively. There is something that he does have that separates him from your average big striker, and that is absolute death touch power, specifically some crushing leg kicks. That is not a leg kick. That is an execution. This is the thing with Jun. I really, really think he is a monstrous powerhouse with some nasty, nasty countering ability, as you can see right here. I mean, right when this guy comes forward, absolutely massive shot brings him down. However, never been tested in the grappling, 34 years old. Time will tell what will come of Jun. Now, unfortunately, the country of Botswana is also an absentee when it comes to finding a representative for this list. So, we're gonna go to Brazil with my good friend, Captain Hafucho, to talk about Jefferson Nascimento.
Hey, how's it going, guys? We're off in the building, and welcome to a special.
Now, the prospect that we're going to be talking about is Jefferson Nascimento, an 11-0 lightweight. That is an insane record, current LFA champion. Let's see what Mr. Hafucho has to say. Side control. He keeps you guessing and then pressing the elbow down again. That opens up opportunities for an elbow strike.
Exactly.
You can see that there is a lot of nuances in the way that Jefferson Nascimento competes on the ground. And yeah, it doesn't seem like Carlos has an answer for anything that he's doing.
I mean, they just have a look at a very record.
Very.
I mean, between for the fight, I mean, he has a very great attitude, great grappling and strengthening. I mean, this guy is totally amazing. I mean, if they want to put on this highest level, I mean, definitely gotta put on like the lightweight. I mean,
now, in case you need a translation of Mr. Hafucho, I'm going to give you the rundown on Jefferson Nascimento. A very solid and methodical jiu-jitsu game. Some finishing ability in the hands at flyweight, which is really rare, but he has finishing ability. But I think his strongest attribute is his very solid BJJ positional control. The way that he wins out on scrambles is also very, very impressive. I think that the current LFA champion has a lot to prove in the UFC, and you can expect him to show up there anytime. Now, to represent Brunei, we had Ahmed Anuar, but he hasn't fought since 2019, and I was still going to put him in anyway, but now I'm thinking about it, 2019 was like 6 years ago. That's over half a decade since he's fought, so we have to skip Brunei, and we're going to have to go to Bulgaria. And to represent Bulgaria, we have the undefeated 3-0 Anton Yanchev. I like this guy, man. This guy makes me laugh. I'm on his YouTube page right now, so shout out his YouTube if you guys want to go subscribe. You cannot like me. You can even hate me. But you will be forced to accept me. Then you can see his, ghost head kick knockout that he got here. Crazy. But in actuality, when I look at his 3 pro fights, Anton Yanchev's no joke. He has faced literally 0 resistance from his grappling game. Nobody's been able to even land a punch on him. He has been destroying everybody. He tells the referee, this guy's done. The referee didn't even stop the fight. He had to go get the referee, tell him, I just brutalized this guy with ground and pound. Can you stop the fight? Literally 0 resistance in his grappling game so far. It might just be because he's a new fighter, but his competition hasn't been awful. And he also has a tremendous grip strength, as you can see here. Almost an immediate tap out. I really like Anton Yanchev. I'm very curious what he could do with his promising MMA career. To represent Burkina Faso, the 7-2 welterweight Sanon Sadeck. Starting off his career with a very impressive win over one of my personal favorite MMA fighters, Tyler Sugar-Free Scott, Sadeck is a very, very good all-rounder who has added layers and layers to his game, especially in the striking. I think his most impressive attribute is his ability to place and time shots. You can see him finish his opponent off with some ground and pound there. Now you may be wondering, what do I mean with the shot placement? I think his best attribute is his way to get around the guard. As you saw, he threw that head kick and that was the perfect strike to throw at the time. It dropped his opponent, catches his body kick, blasts him straight down the pipe. Aggressive finish. I like this guy's tenacity. I like the way that this guy's getting more and more aggressive. I mean, his last performance was by far his best. Logan Urburn was 6-2, and he absolutely smashed him. And I believe this was only on 10 days notice too. I think he's going to do very, very well in Anthony Pettis FC. I'm looking forward to his next fight. And since he is 31 years old, I hope we see a big jump up in competition sooner than later for Sanon Sadeck. Now, unfortunately for Burundi, there is no MMA prospect. So we're going to have to move on to Cape Verde. Cape Verde's representative is this list. First heavyweight, Kenzo Soares. Boy, I gotta be honest, Kenzo Soares is one of the biggest surprises of this entire list. Just a 3-1 record, I really wasn't expecting much, but he's an absolute axe murderer with a super fun fighting style. He just comes forward. He's okay with eating big shots. He just want to land crazy moves that heavyweights don't normally do. And he lands these crazy combinations all the time. Look at his cocky opponent right here. He's about to pay very, very dearly for his taunting of Kenzo Soares. First off, look at this. Knee up the middle, elbow, great dirty boxing, uppercut. Look at this. Spinning back kick into a spinning back fist at heavyweight. This guy did not mean to engage with Kenzo Soares. That was a big mistake. It just took one of those little hooks and that guy went to sleep. This was a favorite moment of mine from his career. He gets tagged and then BAM! Absolutely one of the most fun fighters I've seen at heavyweight in so long. He has big power, of course he has big power, but he's like doing all these crazy moves that you really don't expect from a heavyweight, from a 265-pound man. Cape Verde, not a country known for its MMA scene, but damn, I love this kid. This is one of my new favorite fighters, I gotta be honest. I cannot wait to watch him fight next in Aries. I pray that he gets the win. I hope he has a long career. Alright, to finish off this list, unfortunately he is our last fighter. Because we go to, what's the next country? Cambodia? Yeah, Cambodia doesn't have anybody. I will say though, this was a super fun batch of 15 fighters in 15 countries. Next episode, we have some big players like China, Cuba, Canada, the Czech Republic. Denmark, that guy is amazing. That guy's brilliant. Listen, I am so enjoying these videos. They're educational. They help you get a grasp on the MMA world. If you guys could like, comment. Commenting is so important, but like, commenting, sharing is very important too. It'll give me so much motivation to make part 3 as soon as possible, to get these videos out as soon as possible. That's what I want to do. I want to bring these prospects to your attention. These are amazing videos. They're so fun to make. These are amazing fighters. And by the way, Captain Afucho's channel, if you want to check it out, if you speak Portuguese, if you are Brazilian, I very much recommend it. It is in my description. That is all for today. By the way, I'm going to be going live every single day, so if you guys want to chat about MMA, you guys could just hop right in. I'm here. I do fight. I hope to do some more fighter interviews soon. This has been part 2. I will see you guys for part 3.